It can't stop the day we dissect the news. Flipping on the edge, choices to choose. Politics and laughter, a blend that's so real. Tune in for the stories that make you feel. With guests from every angle, let's bridge the divide. Finding the truth in the humor we can't hide. The Prime Directive, where the laughter's alive. Society's reflections, let's help each other thrive. Politics and culture, oh what a blend. Join in on the journey, let's set the trend.
Probably into the 60s.
Well, but going back to the conversation at hand, talking about societal expectations and how all that functions, in terms of, like, for example, looking at the numbers from the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office.
You don't believe in that liberal math, do you?
Well, to be fair, they are a.
Such a lefty.
I was going to say they are a. What's the word I'm looking for? Help me out here.
Hey, Orange Leader says I don't listen to no
I'm not talking about
CBO.
that. I'm talking about CBO being a. Gosh, what is that called? Not multi-party. What is it called? Nonpartisan.
Nonpartisan.
Gee, I couldn't think of that for a second.
If it's bipartisan, it's
Nonpartisan.
together, and if it's nonpartisan, there's no affiliation.
Yeah, there's absolutely no affiliation. It's basically just numbers.
Math.
Yeah, that's
Which
it.
is liberal. I don't believe in your liberal math.
Good. Neither do I. I just believe in math. But I do want to point out that according to the CBO, the numbers that are presently being put forth are frightening. The number of individuals, individual households in the country that are relying on credit cards to buy groceries is
And now we've
off
launched
the charts.
And now we've launched a war. I shouldn't say we. Now an individual has launched a war into a country that we already had a precarious relationship with. And gas prices. So I just filled up my Golf. And my Golf is an old...
that is, that's
It's an
so...
old Mark IV.
Ooh,
It's an old Mark IV.
Tell us about the engine.
I filled it up.
Tell us about
It's
the
a
engine.
diesel.
Yeah.
So I get like 40 miles per gallon even.
I was about to say, this is before the Mark, what was it, the Mark VI that had the diesel gate?
Oh
the
yeah, no,
diesel
this is
gate
before. This is
scenario.
way before that.
Oh, yeah. This is
Like
when
about
they were...
3 or 4 generations or whatever
Yeah.
before that. But still runs, still everything. So I pull up, I fill up, and I look at. I'm just putting I never look at the price, but this time I just kind of glanced over. $65 to fill up my little teeny tiny Golf.
What's the fuel capacity of that thing?
This time it was
What is it, 14
gallons.
14 gallons?
$65. So
How
Guy
much,
pulls up
is
in
it?
a truck.
$5.50? $6 a gallon for diesel? What is
right
it?
now it's almost $6.
Almost $6.
Almost $6. I luckily got some cents off because of the local gas station.
Which, by the way, that's one of the reasons why Europe is so huge on fuel efficiency, small engines.
Yes.
You have that 1.9 turbo diesel.
That's what it's
It's 100 and some odd horsepower.
Maybe 90.
Yeah,
like that.
a
It's not-
90.
maybe not
Okay,
even
so
100.
it's the entry level, because in Europe, for instance, they actually have more potent turbo diesel engines.
Yeah.
But 90 horsepower, but it probably has 150 foot-pounds of torque, so it has pretty decent torque.
Oh yeah, from about 0 to 40 miles an hour, it'll pin you in the seat.
See, that's pretty
Now
decent.
past 40, it starts to level off.
Oh yeah,
And
of course.
But then how often am I going to? It's just a perfect commuter.
Right.
Perfect commuter car.
Well,
So here I am filling
it up.
It's $65, over $65, like 65 and 50 cents or something. Guy pulls up in the truck next to me. He's also a diesel, and so he's just ding 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 ding. Ding ding ding.
Did he have two? Did he fill up from two pumps?
And so I go
Hold
over.
on.
I'm just curious.
170.
Keep going.
190.
Keep going.
240.
A little less. So
220.
229.
Oh!
And I'm like,
Son, wow.
and you do that a few times.
Let's say you do it every week.
But the Mr. Truck owners out there, right? Because you got to be manly and have your truck, right? But
Hey.
Sorry for throwing shade. Sorry for throwing shade.
Hey.
But hey, if you get 10 miles per gallon, come on, what are you doing? But so
Hey, that's at least 10 miles to the gallon.
Ardent Trump supporter out there, right? You do that a few times at the pump, and you just stare at that thing a couple times, even the most ardent Trump supporters are gonna start. I keep telling you this. It's like the Tower of Sauron in the Lord of the Rings movies. The Tower of Sauron is wobbling, right? This tower of lies and just deception and misinformation. It's wobbling. Now it hasn't collapsed, right? It's still there, right? The eye is still, but it's wobbling. It is wobbling. And this is a good thing because, as we know, that we need something new. We need something fresh. America's gone through its orange fascism stage, and now we need something else.
Lemons.
A lemon fascism.
When
a lemon
life
fascism
gives you
stage.
lemons.
A lime
make
fascism stage.
Make lemonade.
a banana fascism. No, we gotta go somewhere else. And everybody knows this. Everybody who's under the age of about 40, and I count myself in that group. I think they kind of know this, and it's.
I think the challenge is going to be far, because it seems like there's just such a knee-jerk reaction in terms of let's just get change for the sake of change, and
we've done that. That was Obama.
No, but even
to me that was Obama.
Even past that,
like I was like Obama, okay, great, and
even
he turns out to
past
kind of be like a middle of the road Republican.
Yeah,
that's what Obama was.
But ultimately, that's exactly where we're going to be again.
Yeah, no,
it's going to be cyclical. It's going to continue to be.
Back.
No, we're not making. What is it? We're not getting ahead. We're not making headway. We're basically. Do you know what it is? One of my friends, way back when, he has different political views than I do. He was actually just talking about a pendulum swing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it literally swings back and forth because basically all it is, it's like instead of moving us forward, it's basically just like if it goes one direction, it's like, oh no, I don't like this anymore. Mm-hmm. Let's swing back the other way. Oh no, I don't. We never ever do anything.
See, but to me, that's the framing that the billionaire class wants you to think, right? They want you to think, oh, it's a uniparty that just kind of swings back and forth.
Well,
I think enough people have had it.
No.
And I think enough young people have certainly kind of seen.
Young people, I hats off to them.
They're kind of like
they're the ones who are basically recoiling now. We're like, The problem is there isn't.
Well, they got to vote. They got to get out and vote in a democracy because that's
correct.
Power.
Correct.
And so it'll be remain to be seen whether young people can show up.
And I don't think that's going to be the case.
You could be right. I know that most elections, young people don't show up.
It's going to be the case.
But the hope is that enough will actually peel away. That enough moderates who may have voted on the conservative side this time will just stay home. That's the hope. Is that they'll start disengaging again.
Which again that's not the way to do it. It's like it's just so fascinating to me because it appears it's all about, I'm just gonna feel like this because this is how I feel. There's very little foresight, introspection.
Yeah.
And I don't know. All I know is that if we sleep max, we're gonna do better. So tell us more about sleep maxing.
Sleep maxing, not looks maxing. Sleep maxing. Yes.
Yeah. What is sleep maxing?
Okay, you try to get a minimum 8 hours sleep. Minimum. So what you do is you have to do like
8 hours,
right? You got to do particular strategies like lock your door. They recommend like putting in earplugs so that you don't have anything around you. Screens. So the screen's is the big one. You got to try to put your screen.
Don't you even
away.
Think about that.
You got to try to take that screen.
Don't even think about it.
Away from the bedroom. Of course, here I am saying that my wife we have a 75-inch television in the damn bedroom. So.
Oh my goodness! So you have a bigger television in your bedroom than you do in your living room.
And we put on a black screen that has like
soundscapes,
ethereal music and stuff at night.
I love soundscapes.
But yeah, no, it's terrible.
I was
So
gonna say to be fair, I
Yeah.
do the same thing. Do you know
Yes.
what I do?
Yeah.
I actually I turned down I turned down the brightness
God.
level.
Yep.
I turned down the brightness
Yep.
level, and I
Yep.
have my soundscapes playing in the background because I will tell you,
Mm.
nothing puts me to sleep
And then
like my soundscapes.
like if it's
I love
rolling ocean sound.
Oh, actually, I'll take that back. The one thing that will put me to sleep is my cat.
cat, or
Yeah,
I
listening
like the
to
rolling
purrs.
ocean or soft rain.
Yes.
Maybe soft rain in the background or something like that. That's really nice.
Soft rain with cat purrs.
Yeah. It's
Ocean
it's
sounds
the new
with cat
ASMR.
purrs.
It's a new ASMR. So you're going.
No, it's like this is ASMR by Eric.
ASMR. Weird.
Actually, we should do an episode
On ASMR?
Yeah.
Instead of ADHD, ADHD. Oh my god. No. Anyhow, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful to see. I've never lost my optimism. In
Same
people
here.
being able to kind of like we were just talking about at a time when our political existence right now is so absurd. It's
Again,
so
for the third
insane.
time, something is going on that I'm not aware.
Well, did you see the Easter Bunny at the presidential? Did you see this? The Easter Bunny was at these presidential things, and there was this guy dressed up in an Easter Bunny suit, and all these presidential speeches for Easter. And at one point, I saw it on the Daily Show, but at one point, the Easter Bunny itself, because I guess could have been a girl in there, but I think it was a guy, it just stops because it just stares at this camera like.
The Easter Bunny did that?
Easter Bunny was like, this shit weird enough for you folks?
Jeez. That's
it's like standing next to Melania and
By the way,
like
can I
that.
just point something out?
Oh man.
Something I know I've looked at before, and it just kind of sprang to my mind each time that I mentioned wolves so far in this episode.
Oh my god.
You have a phenomenal image of these two gray wolves in a what looks like a winter wonderland.
Yep.
Of like just a background, and wow, they look so they look incredibly
They look
majestic.
intelligent. They look like they're sentient.
They are.
Yeah,
They are.
They communicate to each other.
Absolutely.
They mourn their dead. They look after kids.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you know that they also,
In
if one of them
mythology-
is injured, it'll actually continue to help out and get food?
In mythology, Romulus and Remus were saved by a
wolves. And aren't
Yeah.
there so many historical references of humans actually being adopted by animals
There
and
are
looked after?
many,
like
many.
Mowgli, the Jungle Book
Mhm.
is literally. I mean, we have so many of these, myths.
Is
so
it
many
Mowgli
different
or Mowgli?
Sorry,
Mowgli.
Mowgli.
Mowgli
It's Mowgli.
is this uglier younger brother. Than
Oh, is that
that's Mowgli.
That's Mowgli. Okay, Mowgli. And of course you've got Tarzan. You know
the good king, the being raised by apes and stuff.
Correct.
Yes. No. There's all kinds of examples in history of people being found in the jungles. And you're like, what the hell? No. There are sentient creatures that have been with us a long time.
Well, I do want to just touch upon again sleepmaxing. 8
Mhm.
hours of sleep.
Mhm.
Everybody,
That's
be
minimum.
strategic.
That was minimum.
Minimum.
So
So if anybody tells you you're being lazy, you're not.
No.
You're not lazy. What you're doing is you're sleep maxing.
That's right. Sleep maxing.
Yes.
You're sleep maxing.
Not sleep minimizing. Sleep maxing.
Yeah. Don't confuse it with looks maxing. Oh, looks maxing.
No, that's called filters.
Looks maxing is basically looks maxing to me is
By the
just
way,
kinda like mental illness.
I am
It's
confident-
really bad.
No, I'm confident that we can totally use a bunch of filters, Eric. And all of a sudden you are going to
So
be.
I'll be like a bear. I'll be like.
There you go. You don't even need a filter or anything, Eric.
Yeah.
But I do want to just go back to Artemis II, because we did bring that up.
In our ADHD conversation.
Yes, Artemis II, being over 200,000 miles away from home
today is incredible.
and listening to the pilot say,
Is incredible.
"I have never
Mm-hmm.
felt so much, I guess, awe in recognizing that
Mhm.
and just being kind of like homesick.
And guess who got us
Wanting-
there? Guess who
wanting-
got us there? Not a billionaire.
It was the people at NASA
NASA.
and aliens. But I'm not actually.
Nasalians.
I'm not suggesting that's
Oh my
that's
God.
the case. By
That's
the way,
funny.
have you heard of a bunch of people going missing?
Every day.
No. Very specific folks.
Some of the billionaire class.
No.
Certain.
It's going down a whole different
Oh, boy.
ball game. But anyway, going back to Artemis, one of the pilots basically saying how homesick he felt, and his dream was to basically be out in space, and as soon as he got there, all he wanted to do is basically return home to his friends and family,
Mhm.
and how wonderful it is to be on this rock, on this small rock that exists in this tiny
Mhm.
itty bitty part of this galaxy.
That's right.
In the galaxy, in the vast universe,
Mhm.
and it reminds me of William Shatner.
Testify.
Yeah,
Carl
William
Sagan. Shatner.
Yeah, did you hear what Shatner said after he came back?
Yeah,
He was in tears.
Yeah, he's always been.
He has been in tears, and
your,
he said,
it just changes your perspective. You no longer see the world and things like political borders. Those are just all made up.
"Well, yeah,
It's just artificial
Yeah.
crap that we just made up.
absolutely."
Money. It's just artificial stuff that we just made up.
And interestingly enough, speaking of artificial things, how could we ever have an episode without actually touching upon the artificial things in, as Kyle Kalinske would say, the year of our Lord, 2026. It's fascinating what's presently happening. We touched upon this before, but I was talking about, I think, one of the biggest issues in terms of the boundaries that we have ultimately created is there was no physical manifestation of artificial intelligence in our day-to-day. I don't know, did you see that 60-minute piece on humanoid robots now working in factories?
Yes.
So here's the
Yeah.
thing. So factories, for anybody who's curious, in the 1970s, and actually even after the Second World War, the entire, basically the New Deal that actually brought us the middle class, the New Deal, for anybody who's curious, those were specific government programs that enabled the growth of the single greatest
Mhm.
socioeconomic structure
Yeah.
that the world has ever seen,
Mhm.
called the American middle class.
Yeah.
The American middle class, for anybody who's curious, and if you really are interested, please refer back to the history books that speak so fondly of that, all the way up until the 1970s, was this incredible thing. This is the thing that you actually get to see in the 1980s, even into the 1990s. It was still a thing
Mhm.
before it basically started to falter.
Mhm.
But it was this incredible moment in time that has since been strayed away from. And those programs that specifically were put in place, those are the programs that we really need to reevaluate and go, that worked really well. Maybe we need to reconsider how we structure our entire existence.
Yeah, you can ask your favorite AI platform to just
if you do, yeah, if you want.
summarize,
But the thing
how
is,
would you expand the middle class? And they would, any AI platform that's not rigged,
we'll tell you flat out what it
it'll
is.
tell you flat out what you want to do. You want to expand the middle class because it generates more wealth for everybody.
Correct. Not to cut you off, I just wanted to say this.
Mhm.
We have this very interesting occurrence now in our world, where the physical manifestation is not putting us at an advantage anymore, where we have this one benefit, us as humans, is to have this ability to create things. We will essentially, because we've already outsourced our thinking in part, our creativity in part, and now we are at the forefront of potentially saying, hey, maybe we're just going to outsource the ability to create things and actually make them be in the physical realm
to AI
as well.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because if you look at the if you look at that 60-minute piece from a objective perspective, you are seeing you see the advent of where this technology is going to go in a very short period of time.
Yeah, this is what I was telling you. I don't think anybody is ready.
No,
for what's really
some sectors are going to experience such ground shaking.
I think Nvidia and yes, Tesla. There's brilliant engineers at Tesla actually that work tirelessly night and day to outsmart their idiot owner. But there are just the technology.
Tesla's been gone for a long, long time. So I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Well, it's an ETF that I'm in, so it's the idea is it's disruptive. But
I was actually just talking about Nikola Tesla.
Tesla, the original Tesla.
The original Tesla.
Good
the
one,
guy.
The good one who eventually did go bananas. Poor guy. He had talking to pigeons. And
well,
stuff.
yeah. Why? Because
he saw a billionaire.
He saw through all his genius and his goodwill. Through his goodwill. And
JP Morgan crushed him.
Well, yeah, together with Edison.
Edison too.
Together with Edison.
Boy, Edison was a real bastard, wasn't he? He was brilliant, but he was a real bastard.
Well, he was. I mean, to be fair, he was semi compared to Tesla. He was not even the same. He was not in the same.
He was just a shrewd.
Precisely.
He was.
Yeah, he was shrewd. He was not. I would not say brilliant. No,
he was up there, but still, he also was. How many ideas did he steal? And
precisely.
And how many ideas did he?
Precisely.
But he could see the potential in that.
Look at Marconi. Marconi, when did Marconi invent the telephone, or was he using Tesla's patents?
Yeah.
And do you remember what Tesla said when he was asked about Marconi using his patents?
He didn't invent the light bulb. He just happened to get the manufactured.
Well, that's exactly right.
Mass production.
But with Marconi and the telephone, Tesla basically, when he was asked, it's like, do you know that he's using your patents? He said, yeah, let him use it. He's doing really good work.
Yeah.
Let him do his work. Yeah. And it changed everything. It changed communication. But what's also interesting is now, this may or may not be true. I think it would be pretty neat, and actually would also speak so much to Einstein's character. A reporter went up to Albert Einstein and asked him, "How does it feel to be the smartest person in the world?" And he said, "I wouldn't know. You would have to ask Tesla."
Yeah, sure.
The amount of respect that he had,
humble about that stuff.
Yeah. So it's it's kind of interesting. Yeah. But long story short, where were we? Oh yeah, Artemis II, returning to planet, Earth, perspective, understanding. It's like
and seeing yourself like I try to teach the kids this. That I teach have that sociological imagination. So like to see yourself not just in the here and now, which you are. But to see yourself in terms of history and the possibility of the future, and that our lives are that intersection again of biography and history, and so we're going into places now that are uncharted. We've never had. We have
interdimensional beings visiting planet Earth.
The kind of powers that we have at our fingertips. At the same time, we have the ability to launch the dumbest wars in history against invisible enemies and stuff, and So yeah, it's very interesting. Things are speeding up, and you can tell things are speeding up.
That's why I also see a society that is fractured. And I'm not talking about a society as in one
Mhm.
single country or one single
Mhm.
culture. You are seeing the planet being at the at a fracture point because far too many things are changing far too quickly, and
For people
people
to
are
adapt.
correct,
Yeah.
correct, because traditionally
Yeah.
humans, it
So
took
the,
us thousands of years
Mhm.
to make those small incremental changes,
and there's dangers there, right?
and there are dangers there,
Yeah,
and you're always very precocious. Things are always uncertain. There is always this feeling of again uncertainty.
Yeah.
And now we are basically accelerating that at warp speed.
Yeah.
And we are slowly, do you know what it feels like? Somebody who is learning how to drive has no idea what the controls are, but keeps pressing the accelerator
Yeah,
more and more.
I forget the name of the theorist, but he actually talks about that's how he believes that religion actually emerged from the human species, is that we're hyper sensitive to patterns because we didn't want to get eaten.
Well, pattern recognition
but
is
we're
critical.
hyper sensitive to it. Like and because of that, we've started seeing patterns around us and trying to come up with explanations as to why that would be, how this cloud could form, what is that in the sky, why is this circle got a disc going
by the
over
way,
it,
isn't
and-
that exactly what Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about when Columbus landed somewhere in the Caribbean, and he
Yeah.
actually was able to predict
Dominican Republic, I think.
Was it? Yeah, and
I
he
think.
was talking to the indigenous population.
The Taino people.
Oh, is that who?
They're gone. They were genocided.
Yeah,
But
and weren't they also like some of the most generous people? Also,
kind,
generous,
beautiful,
and
by
just
all
very,
accounts, yeah.
very
So what did he do to them? He enslaved them and murdered them, and
which is kind of interesting because you kind of look at some of the
and this is why people are like, why can't I celebrate Columbus Day? You're like, well, it's kind of like celebrating Adolf Hitler Day. you're trying to celebrate a guy who was, to be fair, you got to put him in the context of his time. But that guy was, he was a homicidal maniac who was a pro-slaver, and I've read his journals where he feeds people to his dogs. This is him talking. This isn't like historians saying this is him writing in his own hand that he cut people's hands off and murdered people.
Well, but then you also look at
them
the
and send them
conquistadors, what they did to the indigenous
human life
peoples
was just
of the Americas.
It's truly an unforgivable crime. Which is why, I try to present Columbus again in the sociological imagination of who he was, what motivated him, but also what his actions really were. By his own words, what his actions were in his diaries and stuff. So what he did to people.
I often like to talk
that's
about...
an eye-opener.
It is, because I often like to also talk about, Neil deGrasse Tyson likes to bring this up too. But it goes far beyond him, because it kind of goes back to Sagan. I was stuck in traffic the other day, and I kept kind of thinking about time, and it's like, here I am. It's like, it's so easy to get consumed by the day to day, and
it's been designed that way.
Right.
Our society's been designed this way.
Well, yeah, of course. But I looked up and I saw the mountains and I saw the moon.
This is Pikes Peak, right? You're looking at Pikes Peak?
Yeah. And
which is a billion years old.
Yeah. And look, can I just tell you something interesting about it?
Yeah.
It genuinely made me think about, like, here we are on our spaceship called Earth. By the way, have you ever seen The Orville by Seth MacFarlane? Which, by the way, Seth MacFarlane was the executive producer of the most recent iteration of Cosmos, which was, of course, the remake of the famous Carl Sagan one with Neil deGrasse Tyson. By the way, highly recommend that. Yeah, Cosmos, highly recommend it.
Cosmos is a wonderful series.
Yeah. And it was so interesting because in The Orville, he actually the ship comes across a giant ship that was designed like planet Earth,
Uh-huh.
and they believe they live in their own little world, but it's actually a ship. And it's kind of interesting to me because I always think about it that way.
Yep.
In terms of here we are, what a lot of and by the way, me included, I always somehow in my limited view imagine that our solar system is static, that you have the planets, circling around. We, together with the planets, are traveling through space, which is, by the way, so cool to think about. Here we are, we're doing this podcast. And it's so funny because going back to Neil deGrasse Tyson, I always like to bring this up. Some people look up at the sky and feel so small. I look up at the sky knowing that I'm in part made from the same things that made up a star.
That's right, for star stuff.
And I feel grand.
See, and that's terrifying to some people because they can't get out of the metaphor, right? So whatever story they've been told or whatever, however they've been brought up, it's very frightening of them to think that they're just a
speck,
a beautiful speck, but it's a beautiful grain of sand on a beach in an ocean of space and time. It's very frightening to them, but it doesn't have to be, right? There's a beauty to it that the same atoms that make you and me up are making up this camera and making up the sun and making up all stars and stuff. That we're all. That's why I'll say it again. The concept of we are one. It comes out of Hinduism and stuff. The Sikhs have this notion of oneness of God, of the Jews with monotheism. The concept really is that the universe is unified, even though we can't see it. There's a oneness to everything around us. I think that's a good perspective to have, that we're in this solar system at this time in this place. It's an amazing spiral that we're going around in a galaxy, in a cluster of galaxies. We're not even the big galaxy in our cluster. Our big sister Andromeda, she's the big one in our cluster. And she's going to eat us one day. In a billion years, she's going to actually, I shouldn't say eat us, we're going to merge. We're going to fuse. And so we'll be one. We'll be one with Andromeda. And then we'll do something else. And then eventually all those will merge together in some amalgamation as well until that star matter dies out. The perspective, when you have that and you can go, astrophysical into the, Artemis missions and stuff, that's why those things are so important, because they help us see ourselves outside of the moment, right? You get caught up in the moments, but things like the Artemis II mission, the Carl Sagan's writings, history perspectives, they help you get out of that moment, right? And it's tough. It's tough not to be ADHD because your brain wants to go all over the place, right? Because all of the sleep and the politics and the sentience of animals and the...
See, that's the wonderful thing. If you don't sleep max, you actually have time to think about these things.
But then it's all part of this larger perspective, which is the Prime Directive. The Prime Directive might very well have a cosmological perspective, because then you can... It might seem ADHD, but it's actually all part of the same. It's all
integrated.
It's all part of the same story that we're in right now. Which is his story and story, the story and his story that we're living and going through and existing in right now. So
we're kind of making history right now.
That's right. Just by having a record of what our thoughts, and for future AIs to program replicants for.
or some Cylons.
Oh God, help us! Elohim, help us!
Data.
That's right. Datum, the one. Datum. One data is datum. So the one, the one data.
The one data.
Funny. Well, okay. So this week's Prime Directive, ADHD, brothers and sisters out there, ADHD. It's not just a mental illness.
Space siblings. It's not. It's just.
There's a meaning to it.
Yeah, it's just what it is.
It's just random thoughts that seem random but are actually connected.
All
if you're
integrated.
curious enough to
Speaking of
connect
integrated,
the dots.
do you have you ever heard of the Lancia Delta Integrale?
No.
Oh, fantastic rally vehicle. Okay. So the Lancia Delta Integrale, Lancia actually.
This is automotive now?
Yes,
automotive.
yes.
Okay,
Automotive, yes.
Automotive.
Lancia is the most successful rally car manufacturer in the world.
Oh.
And with that, I think
a random fact of the day.
Random fact of the evening, right before we sign off. So, what do you think? Is it time to sign off?
It is. Keep looking up and keep having ADHD thoughts.
Always.
And we'll catch you at the next Prime Directive podcast. And if you love the show, we do have a Patreon out there, but if you just want to watch, please do. That really helps us. So
yes, it definitely helps us with the subscriptions. We've
and it's good. It's good to know that there's just
40,000 souls who got lost by trying to find sleepmaxing information. They're like, what is this nonsense? This is putting me right to sleep right now. Just listening to these jokesters.
Jokesters. Come back to here. Yeah. All right. We'll see you at the next one.
We'll see you.
You're here. The Prime Directive's calling, so let's pass a beer. The Prime Directive, where the laughter's alive. Society's reflections, let's help each other thrive. Politics and culture.